I wasn't scared about losing my memory. I was scared about losing my ability to analyze and think like I used to think, as an economist. That worries me. That was the one that worried me the most. Maybe it's my psychology say that I don't want to remember so many details of that because it wasn't a very good experience. Around last October, that was when I was home, working at home, and I had a phone call with my client internationally. Usual stress, usual enjoyment. And as soon as I put the phone down, then I noticed that my thoughts were actually not joining together. So I thought it's all right, another stressful period. Make a coffee, have a cappuccino. And then my daughter came home.
And just when I arrived home, I had a chat with Dad, asked him how his day was, what he was cooking for dinner. And it was then I realised he couldn't say simple words or string sentences together. Dad said that he was fine and denied that anything was wrong. And I actually got a piece of paper, just a random one that was on the table, and said, "Dad, can you please read this line?" And he couldn't do it, and that's when I called the ambulance. Dad actually didn't want me to call the ambulance because he said he was fine. The doctor said that he'd had a TIA, which is a transient ischemic attack, which is basically the way that the doctors had put it was a mini stroke.
The experts say that there's a lump in my head, left-hand side of my brain, which shouldn't be there. That's the bad news. The good news is it's not cancerous. Okay, so the advice is remove it as soon as possible because the experts say that the weight of this lump could be the one that's affecting my brain, my behavior.
Yeah, it was quite scary though. Obviously, it was a high risk surgery. I guess I've studied things like this at uni as well as dealt with some of things at work and at my placements. Obviously not to this extent because he's my father.
I mean, it was pretty stressful. I mean, just to be told that there's a huge tennis ball size tumor inside his head and that it had to come out. It was too much almost.
With modern medicine, I'm not too worried about not waking up. I mean, that's. I was also about to say that partly due to my training, I always assess things on a so-called cost-benefit basis. So if in any situation where I consider the benefits to be more than the cost, then I'll go for it.
It was a stressful time, and I remember my performance at work wasn't great, and I was really it was pretty much the only thing that I was thinking about.
It's still quite difficult to get him just to see a doctor for a checkup or in regards to anything else. I think Dad thinks that because he's had one brain surgery and survived it, he can survive anything.
It's very likely that this will come back, but it will take another 20 to 25 years. So given how old I am at the moment, I said that's not a big deal.
Yeah, I'm just pleased, I guess, that we get to spend maybe as much as 25 years more together, and imagine just all the nice times that we can have together.
Or maybe even a change of career. Hey, that's what I didn't mention, right? Enough of being an economist, maybe it's time for me to do something much more simpler.
Sometimes an individual may deny things that are happening to themselves. That's why you need friends and family to look out for you.
The biggest lesson I learned is I am very loved by my family, and the support they gave me then was, yeah. If not for that, I suppose I might not have recovered in the way that I have, mentally, physically. So yeah, big lesson. I got a very loving family.